Coast. They thought their golden retriever had become jealous of the baby. He wasn't jealous of anything. He was the only one in the room paying attention to what mattered. Coast. It was a Sunday morning and Eli was in his activity walker, the plastic wheeled kind with the spinning toys on the tray, moving himself from room to room with the purposeful inefficiency of a 10-month-old who has recently discovered locomotion. The golden retriever Scout was tracking him. Coast. Not following. Tracking. There is a difference. And Marcus Chen had not known the difference until he started watching it happen every morning for 2 weeks. Coast. A dog following a baby is loose and interested. A dog tracking a baby moves the way Scout moved, close deliberate repositioning every time Eli moved, maintaining a specific distance, a specific angle, watchful in a way that felt organized. Scout had not left Eli's side in 14 days. He had not eaten his full meals. Coast. He had not played with his toys. He had done one thing, watched the baby in the walker, and positioned himself between the walker and anything the walker moved toward. Coast. His wife Diane was a kindergarten teacher with 22 years of experience reading small people. She had watched the dynamic for a week and then called her verdict, he's resource guarding, he sees the walker as his territory and the baby is an intrusion. Coast. Her mother, who was visiting from Portland, agreed. He's always been dominant with smaller things. You need to show him who's in charge. Marcus had nodded both times. These were the people in his life with the most experience. They had frameworks. The frameworks agreed. He moved forward under them. Coast. Scout was removed from the living room when Eli was in the walker. Marcus built a baby gate across the kitchen doorway, so Scout couldn't follow. Scout sat at the gate and watched Eli through the bars for 3 hours a day. He did not bark. He did not whine. He sat and he watched and he waited. Coast. If you stay for stories about what animals sense before we do, you're in the right place. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. On the 13th day of the gate, Eli stopped reaching for the spinner toys on his walker tray. He had been reaching for them every day since he got the walker. Coast. He stopped reaching and sat in the seat with his arms at his sides, and Marcus assumed he was tired. And Diane assumed he was bored with the toy, and neither of them said the word that Scout would have said if Scout had had language. Coast. That night, Eli's temperature was 101.8. By morning, it was 103. By morning, he was also not tracking objects the way he normally tracked them. His eyes followed something to the left of what you pointed at. Not dramatically, just enough to notice. Coast. Diane noticed. She called the pediatrician before 8 a.m. Dr. Hassan Musa saw them at 9. He spent 4 minutes examining Eli's eyes and ears and then referred them to a pediatric specialist that afternoon. Coast. The middle ear infection on the left side had been building silently for at least 10 to 12 days. The associated pressure had begun affecting Eli's balance and early vestibular processing. Coast. The walker, which relied on the child's ability to balance and self-correct direction, had been producing a subtle compensating behavior in the baby that a dog with a sensitivity to gait variation, movement asymmetry, and postural change could detect before any human measurement confirmed it. Coast. Has your dog ever done something that made no sense until it was the only thing that made sense? Tell us in the comments. These stories deserve to be heard. Coast. Scout had been positioning himself between the walker and hard surfaces. Between the baby and the furniture edges. Every time Eli moved in the walker, Scout was there, close angling himself to intercept any fall that the baby's compromised balance might produce. Coast. Not resource guarding, not dominance. A spotter. For 10 days, Scout had been running the calculation that Marcus and Diane and her mother in every framework they held had missed. This baby is moving differently, and I will be here when he falls. Coast. Eli was treated and recovered fully within a week. The ear infection cleared, his balance came back, his hands came back to the spinner toys. Coast. The baby gate came down on a Wednesday. Scout walked through it, went to where Eli was sitting in the walker, and lay down beside the wheels. He put his chin on his paws. His eyes tracked Eli's face. Coast. Every guardian deserves to be recognized, even the ones who never ask for anything in return. If stories like this matter to you, subscribe so you never miss the next one. Coast. Marcus sat on the kitchen floor that morning and watched Scout watch his son and tried to add up what it had cost to be certain he understood what he was looking at. He could not make the math come out small. Coast. The next story involves a husky who spent 3 nights pressing his face against a baby's chest, and what the cardiologist found when they finally listened. Coast. Marcus sat there for a long time. The kitchen light was on and the baby gate was in the corner where he had leaned it against the wall the day he took it down. He had not put it away. He was not sure why until now. Scout put his chin on the wheel of the walker. It was the first time he had touched it. Coast. Marcus left the gate in the corner, some things you take down and you leave where you can see them. So you remember what you didn't know. The walker is still in the living room. Eli uses it differently now, turning it himself, steering, purposeful. His balance came back steady, his ears are clear. He reaches for everything. Ghost, scat tracks him still, the same gentle rotation, the same soft repositioning, not close like before. Just present. The way a dog keeps a post after the emergency is passed. Not because the emergency is still there, but because the post is his and always was. Coast? Marcus stopped thinking about moving him. Some things you stop trying to justify and just let be.